Good day, fight fans. Saturday night, the eyes of the world will be glued to the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas when two of the young, undefeated, in their prime faces of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan King Garcia, go up against each other. It's a classical style matchup of the puncher versus the slick, speedy boxer. Who does not like that? If the breakdown of a fight interests you, stick around. Saturday night at Las Vegas, we've got a classical style matchup. On the one hand, we've got Gervonta Tank Davis, the puncher, against, on the other hand, Ryan King Garcia, who is the speedy boxer. What is not to like about that matchup? Now we've got two undefeated guys in their primes. Gervonta Davis is the favorite to win this, 28-0 with 26 knockouts. I think aside from Deontay Wilder, Davis is probably the premier puncher in boxing. And he usually gets his man. Style-wise, he's a puncher. He's got underrated boxing skills, but he fights for that knockout. He'll back off from you and he'll try to make you walk into something. He'll set a trap, or when he comes forward, he'll feint and he'll duck and he'll dive and he'll try to set up his big punches, and then inevitably he takes his opponent out. Now he's a short, stocky fighter. He looks almost like a mini Mike Tyson to me. So his obvious disadvantages are his lack of height and reach. Now on the other hand, we've got Ryan Garcia. He is 23-0 with 19 knockouts. And he's the younger guy at 24 years old. Tank is 28. And he is a stand-up boxer. He fights in that stand-up style. He moves well on his feet. He fights behind his jab. And he's got lightning fast hand and foot speed, which is something that could serve him in good stead against Tank Davis. Now, if we look at Davis, he has not fought the very, very best, but he has fought a lot of good fighters. He won the IBF World Junior Lightweight title against a very good Jose Pedraza, who gave Vasily Lomachenko a good fight later in his career. And then he moved up to lightweight as well as junior welterweight. He bounced up and down between these three weights. And he picked up some secondary world titles, if you want to call them world titles, at lightweight and junior welterweight. He didn't go after Teofimo Lopez or Lomachenko at lightweight. He didn't go after Josh Taylor at junior welterweight. That's the thing about boxing, is a business era. But he fought some pretty good fighters like Mario Barrios, that he stopped in the 11th round at a junior welterweight bout. And your usual faded veterans like Yuri Orcus Gamboa, and some very good undefeated fighters like Isaac Cruz, and then he's had the Rolly Romero's, and in his last fight Hector Luis Garcia as well. And Davis, he can punch, so he's a southpaw. So he can punch with either hand. He's got a good right hook. He's got a good straight left from a southpaw stance. And he's got a step over left uppercut from the southpaw stance as well. But he scored a knockout of the year against Leo Santa Cruz. That's the one elite level fighter that he did face, although Santa Cruz was coming up in weight. And Gervonta Davis has got the quality of opposition tick over Ryan Garcia. Because if I look at Ryan Garcia, there's really not too much there. There's Luke Campbell, his first really big test, and in that fight he went down in the second round, if I remember correctly, before getting up and stopping Campbell with a body shot. And Campbell was a southpaw like Davis, and he hit him with a left from the southpaw stance. So Ryan Garcia went down. He was up quick and he recovered very well. But it wasn't the flash knockdown where the timing was just right and he happened to be off balance. The timing was right. He hit him flush. He could see his legs stiffen. So he was definitely hurt in that knockdown, although to his credit, he recovered quickly. What I liked about Ryan Garcia, he had impressive poise. He didn't panic. He just kept going about his business. And then he stopped Luke Campbell with a body shot. Now, if we look at Ryan Garcia, he obviously, his advantages are his height, his reach. I'll give him the edge and hand speed as well. And he's a good boxer, and he does have a respectable punch. 23-0 with 19 knockouts, so he can punch. But we also have to keep in mind that he fought guys that were not quite as good for the most part as the guys Tank Davis fought. If you look at Campbell and Javier Fortuna, whom he stopped in his last fight as a junior welterweight, you know, if I think Tank Davis, I think he probably would have done more or less the same things with him eventually. Would have been competitive, but he might have stopped him too. But, you know, we can't make those kind of comparisons. If we look at Tank Davis, the drawback with him, I would say, is he's a kind of guy that doesn't mind giving up rounds. You know, so fights might get to be really close, like it was against Pitbull Cruz, and he's always looking for that knockout. He doesn't box as such much, so his work rate, I think, falls away in spots, and he'll move away trying to walk you into the knockout. He'll go to the front trying to set up the knockout. So if he's faced with a busy, rangy boxer like Ryan Garcia, there's the danger that Garcia is just going to outwork him, use his jab, use his reach, and the knockout may never come, and the rounds go by, and Ryan Garcia wins the fight on points. I can see that happening. Then I haven't really seen Tank Davis badly hurt or anything, so one has to wonder, can Ryan Garcia hurt Tank? And sometimes speed kills, as they say. You know, he can nail Tank splashing away. He hasn't been nailed before, and we might just see something we haven't seen before. And I think that is a big question mark, because I'm fairly certain that Tank Davis can hurt Ryan Garcia. If Luke Campbell could do it, and if Tank can hit Garcia in that same way, he will also put Garcia down, and he might stay down, or he might be hurt enough so that Tank will go in and stop him, because Tank Davis is a good finisher. So I think Tank Davis definitely has the power, if he catches him properly, to stop Ryan Garcia. However, I don't know if he's going to catch him flush enough, often enough, quick enough, with that height and reach disadvantage to get that stoppage. And that's where Ryan Garcia's window of opportunity comes in. And this is a fight that's got me a little bit stumped. I've been going back and forth. You know, Ryan has got the speed coupled with that height and reach advantage, and that could lead to him outboxing Tank Davis. But, you know, with Tank Davis, if you're a shorter fighter, we've seen many of them, Joe Frazier here in South Africa, Baby Jake Matlala, Mike Tyson, short fighters can know how to deal with a jab until they are faded, like when Tyson fought Lewis. But they know how to get past the jab, because if you're a shorter fighter and get stuck at the end of a jab, you're not going to have much of a career, are you? So I think that's the thing. And I think Ryan Garcia should be busy with his jab to set up things, but I can't see him hitting Tank Davis repeatedly with a jab over and over again, and keeping him there at the end of his left and just popping in those rights and outboxing. I think Tank Davis is going to be away from the jab. He's going to go under the jab. He's got good, especially when he's closer, Davis has got good upper body movement. He does get caught with a few shots inevitably, and he slips punches. So I've been thinking that the height, the reach of Ryan Garcia, his bigger size, I don't think the catch weight at 136 pounds will be that big of an issue because of Garcia's young age. He's only 24. We know how Cano played that game back in the day. I think he's going to be able to make that catch weight and rehydration nonsense without taking too much away. So I don't think that's going to become a factor. But I think if Garcia's speed and movement, I'm saying movement, but the thing that you notice about Ryan Garcia, he's not a stick and move boxer. Even when he was knocked down against Luke Campbell, he kept his feet flat on the ground, right? And he kept coming forward steadily. He boxes, but he keeps coming forward. He keeps coming forward step by step as he boxes his opponent. He's not a hit and move specialist. So I think that Ryan Garcia, I can't see, he needs to stake out that center of the ring, and he's got to make Davis come to him, and he's got to use his speed to pot shot Davis as he comes in. He's got to make Davis force a fight. Going after Gervonta Davis, I don't think is a good idea. That's how he's going to get himself knocked out. And I would do that if I'm Ryan Garcia, and he has to be perfect for 12 rounds, because he can win every round up until the 12th, and then he can get knocked out. That's the danger you have with Davis. And for Tank Davis, he's got to put pressure on Ryan Garcia. He's never going to win a boxing match in the center of a ring, and I'm sure he knows that. He's got to put pressure on him, or if he goes back, he's got to lure him into a trap, and then he's got to nail him, like Luke Campbell was able to nail him early in the fight of short shots. And I think that is, if Gervonta Davis hits Ryan Garcia a couple of times, he can force a stoppage. But I think he's really going to battle to win rounds against Ryan Garcia as long as it lasts. And I think in the end, I thought, the speed, the reach of Garcia might make him outpoint Gervonta Davis. But in the end, I don't think he's going to be able to stay away from Gervonta Davis for 12 rounds. He's going to get nailed in the end because Ryan Garcia's mentality is not overly defensive. He's not a stick and move specialist. He's going to want to fight in spots. So I think that is when Gervonta Davis is going to catch up to him. And so my prediction is, like many other people now, that I've sat and I watched a bit of film of both again and I thought it over. I think Ryan Garcia is going to bank the rounds. I'm pretty convinced that he will. He's going to put rounds in the bank, but at some point, just like Luke Campbell, Tank Davis is going to get close enough. He's going to nail Ryan Garcia, and then when that happens, chins don't get better. I think Garcia is going to go down and Tank Davis is going to go all over him, and I think Tank Davis wins this with a come from behind stoppage somewhere in the 9th round. That's a gut feel that I've had. But I'm not at all sure. I'm going with a favourite, Tank Davis here. He's just a bit more of a seasoned fighter to me. And that chin of Ryan Garcia, that knockdown against Luke Campbell, against the other southpaw, worries me a bit. And that's why I'm going for Tank Davis in this one. But I won't be surprised to see Ryan Garcia pull off a mild upset. So that's what I think, guys. In the comment section, please tell me what you think and why you think. Who do you think is going to win this and why? Do you have Ryan Garcia? Is it going to be King Rai? Do you have Tank Davis? And if you watch this far, please give a channel a thumbs up. Thank you so much for those of you who do that regularly, and punch that subscribe. And once again, thanks to you guys who did that. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those out.